Hey True Schools, it's Brent here with another tutorial on time for our game. In this tutorial, we're going to look at registering the time that we get here on the particular player's turn, whose it is. Okay, so let's get stuck into it. You'll need to open up your project, of course, and head into the sprite that says your player 1 clock. Okay, so player 1, player 2. So you need to go into your player 1 clock. Alright. Now, you'll see that there is an event set up here when I receive end game. So that is fired when all the matches are made and the game is over. And currently it says that we're going to set the game, if the game state is player 1, so that's where we are at the moment because player 1 goes first, we're going to now set the game state to P2. So that means player 1's turn is over. We're getting ready for player 2. But before we do any of that, we want to take what is on this game clock and we need to register it on the player 1 time. So it's pretty straightforward, this one, and I will show you what to do. Alright, so we want to grab the set block out of the data, and you're going to set the player 1 milliseconds to the game milliseconds. Okay, then you want to set the player 1 seconds, so player 1 seconds to the game seconds. And then you want to set the player 1 minutes to our game minutes. And that's pretty much it. If I fire this set of code now, you'll see that we should get 1 minute 17 and 80 milliseconds on the clock there, and we do. So that's wonderful. So let's just test that in action from the start. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to let you in on a little hack with our game that will make you speed up the game. Don't do this one with your parents on presentation night, but we need to know about it so we can debug our program. We'll just speed things up a little bit because you don't want to have to go through and play this game every single time. I play it a couple of times first. So if you go into your data category here, and I've made a list, and the way this card game works is I keep track of all the matches, okay? So if you show the matches, you'll see that it's empty, but as soon as we start the game, it'll register, and there are 14 cards there, and none of them are matched. See, our time is away, and look, we also need to reset our player clock when the green flag clicks, so we'll do that. Bunch of things we need to do. So what you need to go ahead and do is you can go in and I can change that to just putting a Y there, and I can press the tab button on the keyboard and I can just change all those, and you'll see that when I get down to the very last one here, you'll check out the clock, it probably won't stop actually, but the game will be over and our time should update. So let's have a look at that. There we go, well done, you've matched all the cards and we got that time there, but we've got a problem. Our clock still ticks over. So what are we going to do about that? Alright, it's still going. The reason for that is because if we go back into the stage here, we're not listening to the end game here. So our clock is forever ticking away. So we need to go away and change that. So we need to get into our events. We need to listen to the end game event. Okay, and to listen to the end game event. And what we want to do is go into our control and we need to do some stopping, but we don't want to stop all. We just want to stop this script right at the end, but we want to stop other scripts that are in the stage. So we want to stop other scripts that are in the stage, and then we want to stop this particular script. Okay, so if we go back and we start the game again, alright, we press start. We're ticking away, we're playing our game here, so not doing that, but you remember, you will probably want to go in when you're testing this to do the little hack here, and you can just change all these. They actually don't have to be Y, but it just makes it easier, and you'll see, as soon as I change this, player 1 clock should update. Well done, you've matched all the cards, our clock is now stopped, and player 1's time is now recorded up on the screen there, which is pretty sweet. Okay. Okay, so the other thing that we need to do is when we press this green flag, we reset the game clock, but we don't set the player 1 clock. So I'm hoping that you may already know how to do this, but in case that you're a bit unsure, you need to go into your player 1 clock, and when the green flag is clicked, you need to set all of these, except for the game state, to 0. Okay, so you need to go in and set the clock, or the player 1 clock. Okay, you're going to make sure, it's very important that you set it to player 1 clock. You're going to make sure that they're all 0. So when I click this green flag, now it's all 0 and everything is cool again. Okay, so that is how you go ahead and you transfer the time that's on the game clock to the particular player clock. I've only done player 1. You'll need to now go ahead and do the exact same thing for player 2. If you're looking for a shortcut to do that and you've never used the backpack, I'll show you how to quickly do that. So you can go in and you can grab a particular set of code and stick it in your backpack just like I have, and you can get that code out of the backpack and you can bring it into here. You do not want that game state piece of code because we set the game state there and you'll run into all sorts of problems, but now you can sort of stick that code in there. Now, so you'll see that my player 2 is now updated, so you could probably go ahead and update yours, or my milliseconds, player 2 milliseconds, game, blah 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 blah. When it's the player 2's end of the game, we set the game to the end, and making sure that you set player 2's game clock back to 0. That's going to be all for this tutorial, and I will catch you in the next one.